This Marathon Moshiach series is sponsored by Anonymous Generous Donor in honor of our campaign that's going on right now called Toras Chaim. Visit our website, tradingpostgan.org, and help us out, please, with this worthy endeavor. In my last presentation, I spoke about the third attribute that will exist before Moshiach comes, and that's Hayayin, Agefni Tempero Yaini Bioker, right? There will be plenty and plenty of grapes, yet wine will be expensive, either because Rashi says there won't be bracha in the grapes, or because people will be 24/7 partying all the time, and therefore supply and demand to be a very, very great demand for wine. One reason, as Rashi pointed out, is the parties, and we described some of the parties that exist in my wife's hometown of Rio de Janeiro. Some really swing parties over there. But there's another pshat, and I hesitate to say this pshat, but I figure if you already got up to this class number 6, then you must be a resolute person, and you really want to know the truth. And therefore, I'm going to share with you some um, slightly frightening things. Yeah. And again, everything I'm quoting today, none of it is my own kedushin. This is all coming from the commentators from the Farshim, right? But um, the um, the Hon Ashir, one of the Mefarshim, one of the commentators on the Mishnah, says as follows: why will there be such a demand for wine before Mashiach comes? Says the Hon Ashir, Lafisha Pachad Hayayin Mafigo. There'll be tremendous dread on the time Mashiach comes. Kosham Razal, Gemara Bava Basra Daf Yud. Some will be a shmig have a pachad gadol. Yeah, that there will be a great awe in the world. Like we find Rav Shimon, similar to a pasuk, Uchayechet Tluyin L'cha Mineged Upachach L'Layla V'Yama. There'll be tremendous dread in the world, and that's also found in the Zohar Chadash, Parshas Kisavo. Says the Hon Asher, from the Rov Pachad, Hakol Yirtzu Achar. It will be so dreadful that people will be running after wine just to have a glass to like calm them down, right? I guess that could also mean a Prozac, or if you want to take a natural one, they have something in Israel called Rigoyon, right? I think there's an English one as well. I forgot what it's called. But these are things which will be very, very sought after in the end of days, because it will be very, very tough times, not simple times. I remember seeing my close friend of Alexander, friend and colleague, Alexander Mandelbaum, put out a wonderful book. Everyone should read it, right? Called Redemption Unfolding. Redemption Unfolding. And I believe he's recently put out a sequel that talks about current events in the world now. And he explains there, he brings there, I believe from the Chidoah, that Mashiach, the Zohar actually says that Mashiach will be a 9-month period, right, like a birth and gestation. And the Chidoah says the last 6 weeks we'll be crawling in the desert on our knees and eating grass roots, right? And it will not be simple. Again, it's possible through tshuva to avert the difficulties of Mashiach, as my Rosh Yeshiva, Tzvi Kushlasky, has told me many, many times, that the the Chevli Mashiach, right? The Maharal says Chevli Mashiach is like Chevli Leda. Maharal says before any new world order can be born, or before any new entity can come in the world, you need to have Chavalim. You need to have a destruction of the old. And that's why before a woman gives birth, right, she has Chevli Leda. Right, and that basically destroys her body. The Gemara Nida says that for 2 years she's basically dysfunctional. It's a destruction of her life, as it were, in a simple level. And based on that, then the new life can come into the world. The same thing, says the Maharal, is Chevli Mashiach, right? There has to be in order for a complete new world order to manifest itself, is what Mashiach will bring about. Yeah, there first has to be a destruction of the old world order, and only then can the new world order take place. So this is what Chazal tell us is the normal chain of events that will happen before Mashiach comes, right? There'll be Chevli Mashiach. It'll cause great dread and awe, and people will be running to get bottles of wine in order to chill out and just like not get totally flustered by this very quite difficult experience, right? If you want to see more about this, then that you can see the Hon Usher inside, who goes into more detail about this on the Mishnah Sota Perek Tes, Mishnah Tesvav. The Chedushi Maharal adds here on this Gemara in Daf Sari Zayin that there's two types of kilkel in the world. There's two types of instruction. There's instruction where there's more, and there's instruction where there's less. And he explains how this the Geffen Yitem Piria, right, is a kalala, right, of miut, right, because their yain is something which certainly there should be bracha, and yet in the bracha will not come. There'll be a miut of the bracha, and that will cause there to be a lack of wine in the world. In any event, these are serious, serious words that I'm saying now, right? And if you made it to this year, and I hope you make it to the end of all my this marathon Moshiach series, because I have very, very interesting things more to say here, which Chazal revealed to us about the end of days. But the point here is that it's not gonna be easy. My Rebbe, Rav Shlomo Brevli, used to say, I give you a bracha, you should be in the base medrash when Mashiach comes. That, the Chavetz Chaim says, the safest place to be when Mashiach comes is in Yerushalayim, and the safest place to be in Yerushalayim is in the base medrash. The base medrash will be like a fortress, a fortress of God's protection. And therefore, we should try to spend as much time as we're able to, whatever we are able to, right? Again, if you work and have an hour a day to learn, use 20, 60 minutes of that hour, then you fulfilled your mitzvah of Talmud Torah properly. If you're not working, and you have 12, 14, 16, 18 hours a day to learn, and you're not using that time properly, so you're not fulfilling the mitzvah of Talmud Torah properly. The mitzvah of Talmud Torah is to learn any moment that you have free time. So if you want to really be protected from all of these Chavli Mashiach, the Gemara in Sanhedrin, Daf Sariches, base, I believe, says, Rabbi Yochanan, that the way to, maybe it's a Mit Aleph, the way to protect yourself from Chavli Mashiach is to be osik, is askas b'Torah Gemilas Chasadim, complete immersion in Torah, right? Really, complete devotion to Torah whenever you're able to. Carry a little safe around with you, and when you learn, turn off your phone, be concentrated only on Torah. That's his askus b'Torah. And as I've said many times from David Cohen, his askus b'Gemilas Chasadim means that you care about people. Any opportunity you have to think about someone else and do a kindness for them, then you should grab it. And we'll finish on that note, right? If you'd like to do a kindness for the person who's sitting here now at the Kosel giving this shir and about to daven nates, and we'll continue afterwards this marathon series of Mashiach, the Midas of Mashiach series, then please go right now to trainingpostgame.org and you do a big chesed for the Rosh Kol of Kol Toras Chaim, that's me, and help me to free up my time so I can devote as much time as possible to giving Shem about making Mashiach marathons and giving other Shem here on YouTube and Torah Anytime and any other channel which I'm able to. Kol Lashon, speaking in public, right? I just got back from America. I gave many, many Shem there, and it was a big pleasure for me. My greatest pleasure is giving Torah over to other people. So please, if you can help us to fund Kol Toras Chaim, trainingpostgame.org. We are really, really trying very hard using the methodologies I was given from Moshe Sternbach, from Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, Rav Israel Auerbach, Rav Nechemia Goldberg, my Rebbe now, Rav Shlomo Safrani, Rav Tzvika Shvetsky, and the many, many other Rabbanim they have Psak, Halacha, and Hara to really train poskim the next generation. They should be zochet to do that and be zochet to see true Psak, Halacha. Right? The Gemara says at the end of days there will be Mishnah Berurah, Halacha Berurah, and Echad. We want to make sure that there will be Mishnah Berurah and Halacha Berurah, and Echad by training and directing poskim to the best level.